Okay, so I want to show you how to create assignments using a Google Doc, a Google Slide, or a PDF. I don't recommend putting a Word document or a PowerPoint as your assignment because there's not an easy way for students to edit those and resubmit them to you, in my opinion. But I mean, that's up to you, I guess. So here is my homepage in my math course, and I'm not done with it yet. It'll have more stuff and be more organized. But so when they click on my math button, it takes them to all of these other buttons. So every single unit that I'm going to teach this year already has a button, but I don't have them all published. Only the one I'm working in right now is published, which is Unit 1. At the bottom, I also want my students to be able to use MobyMax and iExcel. So if they click on those buttons, it'll take them there. And I also plan to add one for Khan Academy. So to create an assignment, you're going to pick wherever you want your assignment to live. So if you're using modules, you'll want to link this button to that module, which is what I use. So when they click on that, it takes them to my module for Unit 1. Okay, so I'm going to press, right now there's nothing in it. You can see it's empty. I just created it. If you hadn't created a module yet, you can hit the plus sign and make one. And then when you're ready to add stuff to it, press the plus sign. And create a new assignment. You can change it to be other stuff if you're wanting to create a discussion or a whole new page, or you just want to make it a link to a different website, all these different options. Okay, so for this I'm going to hit new assignment and I'm going to give it a name. In my modules, I generally go ahead and put the actual date and the day of the week so that I can tell my kids to click on today's page or today's assignment. But since I don't know what day and stuff I'll be teaching it yet, when I create it, I just name it like day 1. So in my Unit 1, I'm going to have day 1 all the way through day 10 because it's a 2-week unit. And then when I know the actual dates, you can change the name real easily. So I added that, and now let's say I know what date I'm going to teach that. I just click on these dots and hit edit, and it'll let me change the name. Also, if you have more than one, let's go ahead and say we have day 2 as well. And I want to rearrange the order. You can drag using these and put them in whatever order you want. So if you have 10 days worth, but you want the day that you're on right then at the very top, just drag it to the top of your unit using these. Okay, so a thing to note is even though my module is published, it's green. These aren't. So until I click, my students can't see those. You have to make sure you publish it. I feel like that's the #1 mistake in Canvas. Okay, so I've created these assignments, and now I need to put some content in them. Now, what I'm going to use for this video is not what I'm teaching on the first day of school. It's just simply an example that I'm going to delete later. So this is what it looks like right now. There's nothing in it. I'm going to click on edit. And first, I'm going to put in everything I want students to do. So I might say, welcome to class. Let's get started. And then you can put bullet points. You can number it however. So if I want to number it so my students know that I want them to do this first, I'm going to say first, click here to complete your morning work. And I plan on making a link that I'll put here that will take them to what I want them to do for morning work. So in order to do that, I highlight it and I click link to URL, and then I copy and paste it here. So that's why it's so great to use Google Docs and Google Slides or Google Forms, because you can very easily get that shareable link, which I'll do a video on in case y'all aren't as familiar with Google Apps. But you get the shareable link and you just put it here. One thing that you need to know is that whenever you put a link, if you put it the exact same way you get it off of Drive, it's going to send students to your copy of it, and every single student will edit your copy. So right now, I want to show you how to fix that. We're going to insert a link that will force students to make their own copy, and it'll put it in their Drive rather than changing yours with one click instead of them having to know how to make a copy and all that. Alright, so in my Drive, I keep all of my Canvas stuff separate. My school plans together, so I have all of our stuff we plan together in this 4th grade folder. But if I use that and then one of my co-teachers decides for some reason, hey, I'm going to delete this assignment, the one I have in my Canvas is going to disappear. So when I find something I want to use, I make a copy of it and put it in a Canvas folder. So here's the one I'm using for this example. There's only 2 things in it. Canvas Math is what I called it, and for this one I'm going to show you a Google Doc. So here is just a fake assignment that I made. And you can name it whatever you want. And then when you're ready to put it in Canvas, you hit Share. Now it's important that you change the privacy. So right now, only people that are part of my school can see it. I'm going to change that. And I'm going to say anyone with the link can see it. And over here where it says Viewer, I'm going to change to Editor because I want my students to be able to change things. And then I'm going to copy that link. Now this is the part you cannot forget, or students are going to be changing the exact same dots. You want them all to get their own copy. In Google Classroom, there was just a button you could click that said like force students to get their own copy. Well, this is what it did for you when you clicked that. Okay, so copy this link and go back to Canvas, and before we link it, I'm going to paste that whole link here. And if you notice, inside of this web address is the word edit. Right here. This is the really important part. I highlighted it. It says edit. We're going to change edit to the word copy. I'm not going to change any other part of this web address. I'm going to delete edit and write copy. Now, when students use this link, it's going to give them a copy for their own Google Drive instead of my original. So now I'm going to highlight it and copy it, or you can even cut it because you don't want it on the page really. I'm going to highlight this and I'm going to put that link here. Alright, so the first thing they're going to do is they're going to click there to complete their morning work. And so then after that, I want them to turn in their morning work. Submit, I always spell that wrong. Submit your morning work when complete. And I'll show you how they'll submit it in a minute. Okay, then after that, I want them to click here to see your independent math practice for today. I'm going to add and complete because I want them to do it. Then I'm going to put submit, and I did it again. Submit your math practice when complete. Okay, so now I need to link their math practice as well, and it's going to be a PDF, so that way I can show you how they're going to submit a Google Doc and how they're going to submit a PDF. So I made another example, and this actually is just a worksheet that I've used in the past. So I'm going to open it. It's a PDF, but I don't want to use a link. I actually want to put the document in there. So I'm going to download it to my computer, or you can link it straight from your Google Drive as well. Alright, so over here for links, I'm going to put file because I need to put a new one. And I'm going to pick upload a new file. And I'm going to choose it. If you have your Google Drive synced with your computer, you don't have to download it. You can just go to Google Drive. But mine has been glitching lately, so that's why I went ahead and downloaded it. So I'm going to insert that file, and you can name them if you would like. You can see it's picked here. And then you click upload. You have to make sure your words over here are highlighted when you do that. Otherwise, it will not create it as a clickable link. Okay, so that's all I need them to do for today. If I had an example I wanted to put or a funny meme, I love using memes, you can put that there. The other part that's important to note is depending on how your school wants you to grade this, you can put it in different assignment groups. You can display it as points, percentages, however. I'm going to do a point for this one, but if your school uses percentages, then grade it as a percentage out of 100. You would just change it to percentage, and then it would show up. Whichever you want. Also, on assignment groups, you can also add new groups, and if you do like major and minor grades and they're weighted differently, I can show you in a separate video how to do that so that it'll automatically in your Canvas gradebook, like if it's a major grade, it'll weight it at 80%, and if it's a minor grade, it'll weight it at 20% or whatever your district says that you need to grade it at. Alright, so now I'm going to pick submission type. I'm going to pick online because they're going to turn something in. If it was in class and they needed to bring me a piece of paper when they were done, I would click that. Okay, so if I do text entry, that's where they can type their answer directly here. I don't need that for this website. They can turn in a website. I don't necessarily need that. If you want them to turn in the link to their Google Doc, you can click it. Media recordings, if they made a photo or a video. File upload, I want that one. And you can pick all of these if you want to allow them multiple ways to upload stuff. Upload attempts, if it's like a test or something and you don't want them to do it more than once, click limited. If they mess up and they can redo it as many times as they want, click unlimited. I leave both of these unchecked always. You can pick a due date if you want. Say I want this to be due next Friday. I'm going to let them work on it anytime between Monday and Friday. You can pick a turn-in time. This will let students know if you've changed something. I leave it unchecked. Then you just hit save. Whoops, what did I do? Oh, I have course dates set in this course. Hold on, let me change this to sometime in August. Let's say it's going to be due August 14th. If you pick a date after the 14th, it'll let them submit it late, but it lets you know that it's late, and then you can just take off points or whatever, however you handle late work. Okay, so let me try that again. Sorry, I forgot I set course dates on this one. Okay, so this is the teacher view. This isn't what students see. So in a separate video, I'm going to log in as a student and walk you through how they would go to this exact same page and do the assignments and turn them into you to be graded.